I thought I knew my granddaughter, but that night, her whisper broke my heart. The evening had started like any other. My small home, tucked in a quiet corner of London, smelled of jasmine tea steeping on the counter. The rocking chair creaked under me, a familiar rhythm as I knitted a scarf, its soft wool slipping through my fingers. At 70, I'd grown used to these evenings calm, filled with memories of my late husband, our laughter, our struggles. The Caribbean lilt in my voice still clung to every word, a reminder of home. The clock ticked toward 8. I sipped my tea, the warmth spreading through me. Outside, the street lamp cast a soft glow through my lace curtains. I was lost in thought, picturing the mango trees of my childhood in Jamaica. When the doorbell chimed, my heart lifted. Visitors were rare. I opened the door, and there stood Leela, my granddaughter, her eyes darting, her hands twisting the hem of her jacket. She was 20, but tonight, she looked younger, fragile. Leela, love, what brings you? I asked, ushering her in. Her smile flickered, not reaching her eyes. We sat by the fire, its crackle filling the silence. I offered her tea, but she shook her head, her fingers trembling. Something was wrong. My chest tightened. Leela leaned close, her breath warm against my ear. Gran, I need to tell you something, she whispered. Her words hit like a stone, sharp and heavy, though I couldn't grasp their meaning yet. My knitting fell to the floor, the yarn tangling like my thoughts. I stared at her, the room suddenly too small, the fire's warmth felt stifling. What could make my Leela, my bright girl, look so haunted? Her eyes held a secret, one I wasn't sure I wanted to hear, but I had to know. What had she hidden from me, and why did it feel like my world was about to crack? Leela was my heart, but even hearts hide shadows I couldn't see. I sat there, her whispers still echoing, but my mind drifted to brighter days. Leela and I had always been close, two souls tethered across generations. I remembered her at 6, her tiny hands kneading dough in my kitchen, flour dusting her cheeks. The oven's warmth filled the air, and the scent of fresh bread wrapped us like a hug. Gran, you're the best baker, she'd giggle, her eyes bright as the Caribbean sun. Those moments felt eternal, like nothing could break us. We'd spend summer nights on my porch, stars blinking above. I'd tell her stories of my youth dancing in Kingston, my mother's laughter, the way love carried me through loss. Lila soaked up every word, her questions sharp, her heart open. How'd you stay so strong, Gran? She'd ask. I'd smile, touching her hand, feeling her pulse under my fingers. Love and faith, child, I'd say. She was my legacy, the one who'd carry my lessons forward. I was her safe place, her confidant. But lately, Leela had changed. She'd visit less, her calls shorter. I'd noticed her distracted eyes, her quick excuses. Just busy, Gran, she'd say, but I heard the strain in her voice. Trouble at home, she'd mentioned once, brushing it off. I didn't press. Leela always came to me when she was ready, or so I thought. Sitting there now, her whisper burning in my ears, I wondered what I'd missed. The fire popped, its glow dancing on her face, now pale, her lips tight. I thought of the scarf we'd made together last winter, her laughter as we tangled the yarn. You're my rock, Gran, she'd said, her hug fierce. But rocks could crack. I'd taught her to face the world with courage, to speak truth. Had I failed her somehow? Her hands, once so steady, now shook as she looked away. The jasmine tea had gone cold, its scent faint. My heart ached, heavy with love and fear. What could make my girl carry such a weight? I reached for her hand, but she pulled back, her eyes wet. Gran, it's about Mum, she said, her voice barely a breath. My daughter, Sarah. The room spun. What could tie Leela's fear to Sarah? My mind raced, pulling at memories. Sarah's laughter, her stubborn streak, the way she'd grown distant too. Had I been blind to their struggles? The creak of my chair felt louder, the silence between us heavier. What had Lila seen? And why had she kept it from me until now? My granddaughter's words cut deeper than any knife ever could. Leela's whisper hung in the air, her breath shaky against my ear. The living room, once warm with the fire's glow, felt cold. The candle on the table flickered, casting shadows that danced on her pale face. Gran, it's Mum, she said again, her voice cracking. She's been seeing someone else. My heart stopped. Sarah, my daughter, my pride and fit. The words didn't fit. Lila's hands trembled, clutching her knees, her eyes wet with guilt. She'd known for weeks and said nothing. I leaned back in my rocking chair. It creaked loud in the silence. The scent of jasmine tea, once comforting, turned bitter in my throat. Sarah, who I'd raised to cherish trust, had betrayed her husband, her family, and Leela, my sweet girl, had carried this secret alone. I wanted to scream, to shake her, but her tears stopped me. "Why didn't you tell me sooner?" I asked, my voice sharp. She flinched, whispering, "I didn't want to hurt you." Hurt me. My chest ached, not just for Sarah's betrayal but for Leela's silence. I saw my life's work teaching love, loyalty. The candles wax dripped, pooling on the table, like my thoughts, messy and uncontained. Had I failed them both? Leela reached for my hand, but I pulled back, not ready. Her confession was a wound, raw and deep. I stared at the fire, its crackle mocking my calm. I couldn't sit still. I needed answers, truth. Sarah had to face me. This wasn't just about her marriage, it was about our family, our values. I stood, my knees weak but my heart resolute. Lila's eyes followed me, wide with fear. "Gran, what will you do?" she asked. I didn't answer. I couldn't, not yet. But how could I face my daughter, knowing what she'd done? I raised her to be honest, but now I had to face her lies. Rain tapped the window, a steady rhythm matching my racing heart. I stood in my kitchen, the confessions still burning in my chest. Sarah's affair, those words felt foreign, wrong. The kettle hissed, but I ignored it, my fists clenched tight. Lila had left, her footsteps fading into the night. Alone, I felt the weight of 70 years, each lesson I'd taught Sarah flashing before me. Honesty, I'd said, was the root of love. Had she forgotten? I remembered her as a girl, her pigtails bouncing, as she promised to always tell the truth. We'd sit under the mango tree in my old yard, her small hand in mine, swearing to live right. Now, those memories stung. The rain grew louder, blurring the world outside. My reflection in the window looked older, tired, but I wasn't broken, not yet. I'd faced loss before my husband's death, leaving Jamaica. I'd survived. This betrayal wouldn't undo me. I had to confront Sarah, for Leela, for our family. The clock ticked, each second heavier. I thought of Leela's trembling voice, her guilt for hiding the truth. She was caught in the middle, too young for such a burden. My anger softened, but only a little. Sarah had to answer for this. I paced, the floorboards creaking under my slippers. The scent of damp earth slipped through the window, grounding me. I'd taught my girls to face hard truths, to stand tall. Now, I had to do the same, no matter how it hurt. I stopped at the phone. Its black cord twisted like my thoughts. My hand hovered, heavy with doubt. What would I say? Could words fix this? I saw Sarah's face, her laugh, her stubborn streak. She was my daughter, but she'd strayed. I had to call her, to demand the truth. My fingers shook as I lifted the receiver, the dial tone sharp in the quiet. What would Sarah say when I asked her why she'd broken us? In that cafe, I saw my daughter's truth and it broke me again. The air smelled of coffee and rain, the clink of cups, sharp as we sat across from each other. Sarah's eyes darted, avoiding mine, her fingers twisting a napkin. The cafe was quiet, its dim lights casting soft shadows. I'd chosen this place for its calm, but nothing felt calm now. "Sarah," I said, my voice steady, despite the ache. Leela told me everything. Her face paled, the napkin tearing in her hands. She knew what I meant. "I didn't mean for it to happen," she whispered, her voice thin. She blamed stress, long hours, a marriage stretched thin. Excuses. Each word felt like a slap. I leaned forward, the table cold under my palms. "You broke your vows," I said. "You broke our family." Her eyes filled with tears, but I pressed on. "I taught you trust, Sarah. What happened to that?" The cafe faded, the chatter, the clinking cups. It was just us, mother and daughter, truth laid bare. She looked away, her gaze fixed on the rain-streaked window. "I'm sorry, Mum," she said, her voice breaking. Sorry wasn't enough, but it was a start. I thought of Lila, her pain carrying this secret. I thought of my own mother, her voice in my ear. Family is work. "Eleanor," I softened, but not fully. "You need to fix this," I said, "for your husband, for Leela, for you." She nodded, tears falling, promising to try. I believed her barely. The waitress passed, her tray rattling, pulling me back. My heart was heavy, but a spark of relief flickered. Sarah had faced her truth, and I'd held her to it. The rain slowed outside, a faint drizzle now. I sipped my tea, its warmth steadying me, but the pain lingered, a bruise that wouldn't fade. We sat in silence, the weight of her promise between us. I wanted to believe we could heal, but it wasn't over yet. What would it take to mend what Sarah had torn apart? Forgiveness was heavy, but my family was worth every step. I sat in my armchair, the cafe confrontation replaying in my mind. Sarah's tears, her broken promises, lingered like the scent of rain still clinging to my coat. The living room was quiet, the fire low, its embers glowing soft. I wrapped my shawl tighter, its warmth a small comfort. My heart ached, torn between anger and love. Could I forgive Sarah, Lila, myself? I'd made mistakes, too harsh words I'd spoken, moments I'd let pride win. Those memories stung now, sharp and clear. Lila came the next day, her knock timid. I opened the door, and her eyes, red from crying, met mine. "Gran, I'm so sorry," she said, her voice small. I pulled her into a hug, her tears soaking my shoulder. The scent of her lavender shampoo took me back to her childhood, braiding her hair. "We'll get through this, love," I whispered. We sat, the clock ticking softly. She told me how the secret had eaten at her, how she'd wanted to protect me. My heart softened. She was just a girl, caught in a storm. I called Sarah later, the phone heavy in my hand. "We need to fix this," I said. She agreed, her voice shaky but earnest. We talked for hours, planning how she'd rebuild trust with her husband, Mark. I remembered my own struggles forgiving my husband after arguments, choosing love over resentment. "Family is work," I told her, my voice steady. The kitchen smelled of fresh bread I'd baked, grounding me. Sarah listened, and I felt a flicker of hope. We decided on a family meeting, all of us together, to start anew. Flashbacks of my own mother came unbidden, her hands kneading dough, teaching me patience. I'd faltered too, but she'd shown me how to rise. Now, I'd do the same for my girls. Leila helped me tidy the house, her laughter faint but real, as we dusted old photos. The pain was still there, raw, but love was stronger. I looked at her, my heart full. We were mending, slowly. What would it mean to bring us all together, to heal as one? In my home, we rebuilt what was broken, stronger than before. The day of the family meeting arrived, sunlight streaming through my windows, warming the wooden floor. I set the table with my best china, the clink of plates, a hopeful sound. Sarah arrived first, her face tired but open. Mark followed, his shoulders tense. Leila came last, her smile nervous but warm. We sat, the scent of roasted chicken filling the air. Silence hung heavy at first, the weight of hurt still between us. I took a breath, my hand steady on the table. "Sarah, start," I said gently. She looked at Mark, her eyes wet. "I'm sorry," she said, her voice raw. "I broke our trust, and I'll spend my life fixing it." Mark nodded, his jaw tight but his eyes softening. Leila spoke next, promising to be honest, her hand finding mine under the table. I squeezed it, feeling her warmth. The sunlight danced on the walls, and I saw my family flawed, but trying. I shared a story of my own, a time I'd hurt my husband with careless words. "We choose love," I said, "every day." Laughter came slowly, sparked by Leila's memory of us baking flour on our faces. Mark joined in, his voice low but kind. Sarah smiled, a real smile, the first I'd seen in months. The room felt alive, the clatter of forks and soft chatter weaving us together. I looked at them, my daughter, my granddaughter, my son-in-law, and felt peace settle in my chest. I'd taught them resilience, and now they were living it. My mother's voice echoed in me. "Legacy is love that lasts." I'd done that later. Alone, I sat with old photos, their edges worn, pictures of Sarah as a baby, Leila's first steps, my husband's grin. The pain of the secret hadn't vanished, but it was softer now, like a bruise fading. The house was quiet, the sunlight gone, replaced by the glow of a lamp. I traced my finger over a photo of us all, my heart full. We'd faced the truth and chosen each other. That was enough. How could I share this piece with others who'd felt the same pain? You've heard my story now. What secrets have shaped your family? I'm sitting here, the breeze slipping through my open window, carrying the scent of jasmine from my garden. It's calm now. My home is quiet after the storm we faced. I think of my grandmother, her hands rough from work, her eyes kind. She'd sit me down, tell me stories of her own heartaches, her voice steady like the sea. "Eleanor," she'd say, "family is where you find your strength." Her words carried me through Leila's secret, Sarah's betrayal, and our healing. There, why I'm talking to you now. I learned trust can break, but it can mend too. Sarah's mistake hurt us all, but her courage to face it, Leila's honesty, and our love, it brought us back. I see my grandmother in me, her wisdom in my choices. You've got that wisdom too, don't you? Maybe you've faced a secret, a hurt that shook your world. Maybe you've rebuilt, like I did. I want to hear your stories, those moments that tested you, that made you stronger. Share them below. Let's talk, woman to woman. This house, with its creaking floors and warm corners, holds my legacy. I see Leila growing, carrying our lessons forward. I see Sarah, trying every day to be better. And I see you, watching, maybe nodding, maybe crying. You're part of this too. Your stories, your strength, they matter. The breeze is cooler now. The night's settling in. I'm grateful you listened, that you stayed with me. Subscribe if you want to hear more, if you want to share this journey. We're family, in a way, aren't we? What's your story, and how did it make you who you are today?